This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network, and we are a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metals Summit, Beaver Creek, now being held virtually this year. And joining me right now is Paul Cronin. He is the CEO and Managing Director for Adriatic Metals. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you, ADT on the ASX and ADT1 on the LSE. Paul, good to see you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well, Robert. Yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain. But, I know it's been a while since we saw each other. And before we get into that update, give me that one line exactly what Adriatic does, and then we'll get into some corporate updates.
It's really simple. Adriatic finds assets in the Balkans that have been previously explored, but not in the right way and not with enough depth. And we prove that there's more tons there and more ounces there. We picked up that project in Bosnia in 2017, got in there, first drill hole hit 64 meters at 25 grams a ton gold equivalent. Those are the sorts of projects we're looking for, high grade with size.
All right. So last time we did speak, it was a little over a year ago. Let's get some corporate developments. What's been going on and highlights, right, in the last year. So take it away.
Yeah, well, look, we've done a lot of drilling. We've done over 30,000 meters of drilling. We put together a maiden resource last July, 9.5 million tons, grading at about 11 grams a ton gold equivalent. We've then moved in and put out a scoping study. Our scoping study was very well received, showed an NPV at an 8% discount rate of over 900 US. That was using metal prices that was spot back in November, so that was 2,500 zinc, $17.20 silver, and $14.40 gold. Obviously, the metal prices have changed quite substantially, but the scoping study, and it's even back then on those metal price assumptions, was very robust with over 100% internal rate of return, a fairly modest capex of 180 million, which will be easily financed in this market. Which will deliver about a 15-year mine life for the project. So all in all, very, very well received by the market. And then since then, we've been continuing to drill. We've done, since we did the updated resource, we've done about 20,000 meters of drilling. We're about to put a new resource out on Ripitsa, so we're just finalizing that at the moment. We've been very successful in our permitting. We've received our environmental permit from the Bosnian government on our open pit and on the tailings dam and the plant. So that's a huge win for us. But what we've also been doing, whilst being tucked away in our home offices during the COVID crisis, is we've gone and bought ourselves a pipeline project in neighbouring Serbia. We've bought a Canadian listed company called Tethian Resource Corp. They have a fantastic land package in southern Serbia that we've been looking at for some time. The moons aligned there. We saw a great opportunity for a combination of those companies, and that'll go to its shareholder vote next week, and we hope to close that before the end of August. So it's been a busy year for us,
to say the least. To say the least. And my next question is, and I think we talked about this or you and my dad talked about this in the first interview you guys did together, is let's get an update on the geopolitical situation. I know just like the metals prices have changed quite a bit since the last time we talked. I got to know, has anything changed on that front? Developing more relationships. What's that political atmosphere look like?
in the Balkans in general? I think it's the same as it always was. I mean, these are countries that aspire to join the EU, to join NATO, and we find the business environment in Bosnia improving all the time. We're finding governments very responsive. We get a lot done there, and we get it done fairly quickly. But that's not entirely just due to the productivity or the proactivity of the Bosnian government. That's also due to the way we engage with our local community. And we have a pretty well developed ESG rollout plan that includes procurement, HR strategies, the way we interface with our local community through public liaison committees and the like. All of those things are helping us with our relationship both with the local community and with the three levels of government in Bosnia that we need to deal with. Serbia, obviously, Tethyan have got an existing relationship there. They've been very successful in getting things done in Serbia, and will continue on in those relationships as well. But I think, the team that we've got on the ground now in Bosnia is 59 people, only one expat. We've got a great team there of people who know what they're doing and are moving this project ahead really aggressively. And we're looking forward to marrying that up with the Serbian team. We think there'll be a lot of opportunity for some of the Serbs to come and work in Bosnia and vice versa, and allow them to experience different projects. But both projects, I think, will be very value accretive for the company.
So what would you say in the last 12 months has been the one question that you get all the time from investors regarding all your projects? I mean, I figured now would be a great time to address that, right?
Sure. I mean,
why not?
Why not? I think we are the only public mining company in Bosnia. And I think there is a degree of concern because there hasn't been public companies being permitted in Bosnia before, that somehow it's going to be difficult or problematic. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's been a very straightforward process, very open and cooperative with each of the various departments at each of the various levels of government. It is bureaucratic in Bosnia, and there's no doubt about that. I think even the Bosnians are the first to admit it's kind of bureaucratic. But we found dealing with the Bosnian government to be very, very open and honest. And as demonstrated, we've just achieved the hardest permit to get, which is the environmental permit. And in a couple of months, we'll have our mining license as well. What people don't know is that there is an active mining industry in Bosnia. There was a base metals mine permitted that's only 15 km from us last year, called the Olivo Lead Mine. In actual fact, the Director of Operations for that company in Bosnia has recently joined us in our senior management team, Dominic Roberts. So I think we've got a great team who are able to move these permits forward. We get lots of questions from our local community, no doubt about that. But we typically find almost everybody is supportive of this project, so it'll go ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes total sense. Look, you're the closest I've ever met to even talking to somebody from Bosnia, and you're not even from Bosnia. You're just doing a project there. So I get how that is probably the main question you do get asked when it comes to your projects. So then from what you can tell us, what would you say are the main value catalysts for the company now moving forward for the rest of the year going into 2021?
Look, we recognize the value of land in a jurisdiction like Bosnia, where there aren't a lot of exploration concessions, because getting an exploration concession can be quite difficult. So we've been working with government on getting a new concession, a much larger extended concession that covers a lot of the known mineral belts where we're operating in Bosnia. I think that's going to be a major tick. I think the updated resource will be a major tick. The pre-feasibility study will be out toward the end of September. Based off that larger resource, based off better understanding of costs, based on a better understanding of metallurgy. So I think that will be received very positively. Then our mining license, or our exploitation permit, I think will be forthcoming soon, as well as our urban planning rezoning permit. And we've also started the environmental process for Rapitsa as well, with the public hearing recently being confirmed on that for later this month. That'll start the process there. So, there's a lot of developments, but I think Tethyan is going to be one that investors will keep an eye on. We've finished our confirmation drilling, or Tethyan's finished their confirmation drilling at the Kizilbac property. We're going to massively expand that drilling program even ahead of completing the acquisition, and we're going to really show what that project has, which is a lot of scale, and quite frankly, a lot of grade too.
Well, with that, where can my audience go and find everything they need to know about Adriatic Metals?
Look, you can find it all on our website, adriaticmetals.com. But you can also see a lot of information on other social media sites. And then our news releases gives you everything you need to know about the company.
And Paul, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. My name is Robert Kraft. I'm your host on SNN Network. We are a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metals Summit, Beaver Creek, now going virtual. You're going to see Paul there. And thank you all for listening today.